Okay, good afternoon, everybody. There's my polished accent from my speech therapy. I am from an agency called Algorithm, and as Pepe's already said, I'm going to share some no-holds-barred honesty about the campaign for this very marketing conference itself. So before I get started, Pepe, I sometimes am quite straight to the point. I hate vanity and fluff, and I say things as they are. So if I offend anybody in the room by any of my comments, I apologize in advance. And I'm very glad that you didn't share the other secret that I shared with you, Pepe, because I jokingly said to him that my naked secret is that I have a basement full of blue midgets. And thank you, Pepe, for actually holding back and giving a different example. So let's get started. So the big, hairy, audacious goal. Is the screen working? Nobody can see the screen. There we go, and it's back again. So a while ago, I sat with Dale, the conference organizer, and had an informal chat. And basically, we were talking about the conference, and Dale set me a challenge, a big, hairy, audacious challenge, and nobody can see the slides. And they're back again. OK, cool. So the challenge was this: to get 500 beautiful bums onto these seats using some digital marketing. So it looks like it went quite well, but actually that's not the full story. So I'll tell you actually what happened, what went wrong, what went right. So the other challenge was the budget. So originally we'd been discussing a budget of 40,000 Rand, and things change, money gets allocated to different places. So eventually, I had 20,000 Rand to generate 500 bums on seats. I was pretty scared, I have to be honest. But anyway, we're going to go for it. So I'm going to get to the point, which is, did we achieve it or did we not achieve it? The actual reality is we didn't achieve what we wanted to, but there's some interesting insights along the way. So we've heard a lot this morning about algorithms, automation, and data, and complexity. And this is really something that's scaring me, actually, because I think with all of those great things, it's making us more and more and more stupid. And I would say myself, I also now start to feel pretty stupid. So us marketeers are full of shit. We really are. So we've heard about CPLs, impressions, reach, frequency, programmatic, bots, all this stuff. And actually, one observation before we start is just that we need to be very careful that with automation and data, that we don't become simpletons and actually ask people what they're talking about. Because the reality is a lot of people have no idea what they're talking about. So first observation is, if you hear CPL, CPCs, impressions, reach, frequency, ask that person to explain to you as if you were an alien or your grandmother what they mean, and you'll very, very quickly cut through the bullshit and use that as a guiding measure, and don't let the data just tell you what's going on. Actually ask the human what the insight is and why the insight exists in the first place. So, what happened in one slide? So, going to keep it really simple. So we've got three graphs here. On the top left, we've got traffic. So where did the traffic come from? And you'll see there's the usual mix of stuff. So direct display, social, email, all the things that we all work with day to day. The next one is the bounce rate, so the quality of traffic from those channels. And then the last one at the bottom is basically the intent. So which one's converted the strongest or not. Now, normally when we go to client meetings or when you present to clients, or if you're a client yourself, you get a massive Excel spreadsheet and a load of bullshit. My point is just whatever technology is being used, if you can't put it in a picture on one slide, there's a huge problem. Cool. So what things went wrong? So marketing gets naked, a really nice, innovative campaign concept, something different. Excellent. So we start building websites, banners, advertising, all those good things. But can anybody spot what the problem might be with the slogan? Naked, right. So we go live. I work on Google 24/7, and I just missed the advertising policy that would say you can't run this campaign. So lesson number 1 is consider yourself to be an idiot, because this is my bread and butter, and I forgot that I couldn't even run ads on Google. So whatever it is that your creative concept is, I know nobody likes to get everybody involved because you kind of get decision by committee, and it causes more headaches, too many cooks, and all those types of things. But definitely do think about your concept and actually question, can it be delivered? And also speak to a collective of people that you don't work with every day, a collective of people that aren't marketeers, and actually ask them what they think. And quite often you'll find that what you thought was a brilliant concept is actually nonsense. Cool, so we had to redo all of the landing pages, change everything, and that was a massive lesson learned. So what's the best thing about AI and digital and all the things that we've heard about this morning? Well, often it's like one of these things. So this is a user flow thing in Google Analytics, and I'm sure many of you have seen this or something very similar. And isn't it great? Loads of data. I have absolutely no idea what that means, and I have absolutely no idea what you would do with it. So what's the worst thing about digital? Well, unfortunately, it's the fact that you can measure absolutely everything, and then everybody measures absolutely everything, and then everybody talks about absolutely everything, and you end up with a situation like this. And this is pretty reflective of most board meetings or client meetings that I attend. No one's got a cooking clue what they're actually aiming for. They don't know where Wally is. They don't know if he's naked. So yeah, I think my main point here is just keep things super, super, super simple. There's one single objective, report on that objective, keep it visual, and don't let people give you too much information. So one of the things I was also going to make a point about was about asking questions. So when you've got someone giving you lots of information and these types of graphs, sometimes shock them by asking them really random questions. Like often we'll ask people, if I was to give you a contract to wash every window in Johannesburg, how much would you charge me? And all of a sudden their brain just doesn't work. How do you weigh an elephant without scales? All those types of things, and I really do think that we should ask questions that challenge people's minds, not just a dashboard or a report that someone has bashed out in the agency. Cool, so the question was, what did we achieve? I just want to have a quick raise of hands. How many people here thought that they were exposed to some digital marketing to do with the conference? Could I just have a raise of hands? So roughly half. Okay, that's pretty good. So what we actually achieved was 292 people tracked to the point that you add something to a cart. So one of the key problems with digital in South Africa and the world is that how do you actually measure from digital to store location or call center and all of those things? And then we spend all of our time looking at these reports, and we don't actually know what happened to that lead or that sale or the person who checked out in the store. So actually, probably digital's biggest challenge, as clever as it all is a bit like Arnold Schwarzenegger here. We just don't know what happens to something when it hits a system or when someone goes to store. So my point here is the question was, can digital replace traditional media? And the emphatic answer is hell no. Because in the example of this conference, if I'm going to drive loads of people to the website to book a conference ticket, how many people in the room have the credit card? How many people in the room have the authority to spend the budget for the client? How many people in the room want to book 20 bookings, not one booking? All those types of things. So your digital tipping points are everywhere. So actually, when it comes to digital replacing traditional, it really comes down to integration, which is a horrible word. And basically, my kind of wrap-up point here is that whatever you plan in life as a big, hairy, audacious goal, whether it's buying a new car, a new pair of trainers, you always think, yeah, I'll save 1,000 rand a month, and in 5 months I'll be able to afford it. Reality doesn't work like that, and you never achieve what you want to in the time frame that you want to achieve it. So start early, especially with content marketing, but don't procrastinate so much about the idea that you never get started. And in wrap-up, I'm just going to say, keep things simple. Let data drive you, but always question the human, and basically keep things visually in with one single objective. And then I think all of the things that we've heard about today, disruption, AI, algorithms, won't destroy us marketeers into rambling simpletons. Thank you very much for your time.